Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to be discussing about the monopoly. So here in the previous session we haven't discussed about the imperfect competition. Under the imperfect competition, the markets are based on the number of sellers exist in the market. Based on the number of sellers exist in the market, so the imperfect competition can be divided into four market situations. Four market situations we haven't discussed here. So those are of what here. One is the first one is what here monopoly. Second one is monopolistic competition, and third one is a oligopoly, and the fourth one is a duopoly market situation we haven't discussed. So let us know. Let us learn in detail regarding what is actually the monopoly, what is the meaning of monopoly market situation. So what are the different number of characteristics will be available of a monopoly market situation, and how the price is going to be determined under the monopoly market situation we are going to be learning here. So let us know what is actually the meaning of monopoly. Meaning of monopoly. So let us learn what is actually the meaning of monopoly. So monopoly is a totally different market situation. Monopoly is a totally a different market situation. So here compared with the perfect competition here, when we are going to be comparing with the perfect competition, so monopoly is a totally a different market situation. మనం పరిపూర్ణ పోటీతో కంపేర్ చేస్తే మొనోపొలి మార్కెట్ అనేది ఏంటి, మొత్తం ఏకస్వామ్యం. మొనోపొలి మార్కెట్ని ఏమంటున్నాము, ఏకస్వామ్యం అని అంటున్నాం. ఏకస్వామ్య మార్కెట్ అనేది పరిపూర్ణ పోటీకి మొత్తం ఏది ఎంటైర్లీ డిఫరెంట్గా ఉండే మార్కెట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ అనమాట. ఎంటైర్లీ డిఫరెంట్గా ఉండే మార్కెట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఏమంటున్నాము, అక్కడ పరిపూర్ణ పోటీ, అక్కడ ఎక్కువ మంది అమ్మకందారులు కొనుగోలుదారులు ఉంటారు. ఇక్కడ ఏంటి, ఒకే ఒక అమ్మకందారుడు అనేవాడు ఉంటాడు. ఒక వస్తువుని ఒకే ఒక అమ్మకందారుడు, ఒకే సంస్థ అక్కడ వస్తువుని తయారు చేసి అమ్మడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. కాబట్టి ఏమంటాం, ఏకస్వామ్యం. మొనోపొలి అంటే ఏంటి, ఏకస్వామ్యం. ఒకే ఒక అమ్మకందారుడు అనేవాళ్ళు ఉంటారు. సో ఇది దానికి దీనికి ఎంటైర్గా డిఫరెంట్ అనేది ఉందా లేదా, ఉంది కదా. ఎంటైర్లీ దర్ ఇస్ అ డిఫరెంట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఫైండింగ్ వెన్ కంపేర్ టు ద పర్ఫెక్ట్ కాంపిటీషన్. మొనోపొలి మార్కెట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఇస్ ఎంటైర్లీ డిఫరెంట్ మార్కెట్ సిచ్యువేషన్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఫైండింగ్ హియర్. సో ద వర్డ్ mono means what here, single. So in the it's the word under the monopoly, the word mono means single. Mono means single. Mono means what here, single. So here poly means what here, poly means seller. Poly means seller. Mono means single. So the word mono means what here, single. Poly means what here, seller. So the means what exists of what here, monopoly. Monopoly means what here, single seller. Only the single seller is going to be exist in the market. Only there is a single seller is going to be exist in the market. So monopoly is going to be said to exist when only, so when one form is the only one firm is the sole producer of a product. Only one firm is the sole producer. అంటే ఒకే ఒక సంస్థ ఆ వస్తువుని ఒక రకమైనటువంటి వస్తువుని ఉత్పత్తి చేస్తుంది అని అక్కడ చెప్పడం అనమాట. సోల్ ప్రొడ్యూసర్ ఆఫ్ ఏ ప్రోడక్ట్ విచ్ హ్యాస్ నో క్లోజ్ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్స్. దానికి ప్రత్యామ్నాయమైనటువంటి వస్తువు ఏది లేదు. ఒక సంస్థ తయారు చేసేటువంటి వస్తువుకి వేరొక ప్రత్యామ్నాయమైనటువంటి వస్తువు అనేది లేదు. సో దెర్ ఇస్ నో క్లోజ్ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ ఫర్ ద ప్రోడక్ట్ విచ్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ ప్రొడ్యూస్డ్ బై ద సోల్ ప్రొడ్యూసర్ of the farmer. So there is no close substitutes for that particular form here. There is no close substitutes is going to be existing by the form here. So in the words of Bylas, in the words of Bylas is the economist name here. So it is the name of economist. Bylas means what here? So Bylas means it is the name of the economist. In the words of Bylas, monopoly is represented a market situation. Monopoly is represented a market situation in which there is a single seller of a product, in which there is a single seller of a product for which there is no close substitutes. There is no close substitutes. The single seller is unaffected by and does not affected by. The single seller is does not affected by the price and output of other products sold in the economy. So what the, in the words of Bylas, what we have been defined here? So monopoly is represented by monopoly is represented by monopoly is represented by a market situation, a market situation in which there are in which there is a single seller of a product for which there are no close substitutes. There are no close substitutes. This single seller is unaffected by and does not affect the prices and outputs of other products sold in the economy. So here, according to the Bylas, what actually had been defined here? According to the Bylas, what actually had been defined the monopoly market here? So monopoly market is represented by a market situation. It is one of the market situation in which there is a single seller. Okay, oka ammakam darudu. There is a single seller of a product. For which there are no close substitutes. ఒకే ఒక అమ్మకందారుడు అతడు అమ్మే వస్తువుకి ప్రత్యామ్నాయ వస్తువు అనేది లేదు. సో దెర్ ఇస్ ఏ సింగిల్ సెల్లర్. He is going to be the seller of a product, the single seller of a product for which there are no close substitutes. అంటే ప్రత్యామ్నాయ, అతడు అమ్మే వస్తువుకి ప్రత్యామ్నాయ వస్తువు అనేది లేదు. So here there is a product for which there are no close substitutes. The product which he is going to be selling, there is no close substitute will be available for that particular product by the seller in this particular market. So this single seller unaffected means he is not going to be affecting by any others and does not affect it. He is not going to be affecting by any others and he does not affected by the prices, and he is not going to be affecting the prices and output of the other products sold in the economy. So that the other products which are going to be sold in the market are the other products sold by the whole economy, because he is going to be selling the single product. Means the single seller, he is going to be producing of a product, there is no close substitutes. అంటే వాటి ప్రత్యామ్నాయాలు లేనటువంటి వస్తువులను అమ్ముతున్నాడు కాబట్టి, సో ప్రత్యామ్నాయ వస్తువుల యొక్క ధరలు పెరిగినా తగ్గినా, లేదంటే ఇంకేంటి వాటి అవుట్పుట్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయినా, సప్లై ఇంక్రీజ్ అయినా తగ్గినా కూడా ఈ వస్తువుకి ఏ ఎఫెక్ట్ అనేది కలగదు. సో దెర్ ఇస్ నో the prices of the substitute goods or the outputs of the other goods may not be affected. So which can be sold in the market, which cannot be affected by this particular single seller here. So that is called it as in what here, meaning of the monopoly. I think so now you people have clearly understood here. So what is actually the monopoly? Mono means single, poly means seller here. So monopoly, there exists only single seller in the market. So he is going to be selling the different product. There is no close substitute for that particular product here. So that's what there is no, the prices of the other goods or the output of the other goods may not be affecting of this particular seller here. So that's what he is going to be ruling here. He is going to be the ruler in the market here. So let us know what are the different number of characteristics. What are the different number of characteristics of a monopoly market? Characteristics of a monopoly market. Characteristics of a monopoly market. Characteristics of a monopoly market. So what is the main characteristic we can find here? A single firm produces the good in the market here. Only the single firm is going to be producing the goods in the market. Single firm అంటే ఒకే ఒక సంస్థ అక్కడ మార్కెట్లో వస్తువులను అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తుంది. సింగిల్ సంస్థ అక్కడ వస్తువులను అనేది మార్కెట్కి తీసుకొస్తుంది. So that is the first and foremost characteristic here. So a single firm produces the goods in the market. The second one is no close substitutes to this particular good here. There is no close substitutes. అంటే వేరే ప్రత్యామ్నాయాలు ఏవి కూడా అందుబాటులో లేవు. There is no close substitute will be there for this particular good here. And the strong barriers exist to entry of a new firm into the market here. There is a strong barriers అంటే చాలా restrictions. ఇండస్ట్రీలోకి ఫామ్ ఎంటర్ అవ్వాలి అని అంటే చాలా రెస్ట్రిక్షన్స్ ఫాలో అవ్వాల్సి ఉంటుంది. దెర్ ఇస్ నో థ్రెట్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎంట్రీ ఆఫ్ ద ఫార్మ్స్ హియర్. దెర్ ఇస్ నో థ్రెట్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎంట్రీ ఆఫ్ ద ఫార్మ్స్ హియర్. సో హియర్ ఎవరిని కూడా ఫోర్స్ చేసి ఇండస్ట్రీలో జాయిన్ చేసుకోరు ఏ ఫార్మ్స్ని కూడా. అండ్ హియర్ ఇండస్ట్రీ అండ్ ఫార్మ్ ఈజ్ వన్ అండ్ ద సేమ్ హియర్. Here only one firm will be exist in the industry. So that's what will be happen here. So the firm will be the industry and industry will be the firm here. ఒకే ఒక సంస్థ ఉంటుంది, సంస్థనే అక్కడ ఇండస్ట్రీ అవుతుంది, ఇండస్ట్రీనే ఫార్మ్ అవుతుంది. So here then the next one, producer can control the price. The producer of the firm can control the price and quantity of the goods here. So the producer of the firm can be control the price of the good and also he can also control the output of the goods here. So but the producer cannot determine both. But the producer cannot determine both at a time here. రెండుని ఒకేసారి నిర్ణయించలేడు. అక్కడ అవుట్పుట్ని ప్రైస్ని నిర్ణయించి ధరని నిర్ణయించగలుగుతాడు, తర్వాత అవుట్పుట్ని కూడా కంట్రోల్ చేయగలుగుతాడు. కానీ రెండింటిని కలిపి ఒకే సమయంలో మాత్రం చేయలేడు. రెండు ఒకే సమయంలో మాత్రం చేయలేడు. సో బట్ ద ప్రొడ్యూసర్ కెనాట్ డిటర్మైన్ both the price and quantity. Both the price and quantity of the good simultaneously. రెండు ఒకేసారి చేయలేడు. ఒకసారి ధర నిర్ణయించగలడు, ఒకసారి అవుట్పుట్ని కంట్రోల్ చేయగలడు, కానీ రెండింటిని కలిపి ఒకేసారి మాత్రం చేయలేడు. So then the monopolist aims at maximize the profits with minimum cost here. The monopolist firm ఏకస్వామ్య పోటీలో ఆ ఒకే ఒక సంస్థ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో అదేమంటుంది, సో ఎక్కువ ప్రాఫిట్ని ఆర్జించాలి, ఎక్కువ లాభార్జనాన్ని పొందగలగాలి అనేది, తక్కువ ఖర్చుతో ఎక్కువ లాభాన్ని ఆర్జించాలి అనేది దాని ఉద్దేశం. So here the monopolist aims at maximizing the profits with minimum cost here. The cost of production will be low, but the revenue will be more they want to earn here. So these are the different number of characteristics that exist by the monopoly competition here. So let us learn equilibrium and price determination under monopoly. Equilibrium and price determination under the monopoly. Equilibrium and price determination under the monopoly. Equilibrium and the price determination under the monopoly. Equilibrium and equilibrium position and price, how the price is going to be determined under the monopoly market situation we are going to be learning here. So price output profits, price price determination, output determination, and that the profits under the monopoly are determined. Monopoly is going to be determined based on the forces of demand and supply of a good here. So under the monopoly market situation also, we are going to be determining the price, means we are going to be deciding the price of the product, and at what price, how much output we should have to produce, and how much is the profits we can earn under the monopoly market situation also. We are going to be determining based on the demand, based on the forces of demand and supply of a good. ఆ వస్తువు యొక్క డిమాండ్ అండ్ సప్లైని బట్టి ఆ వస్తువు యొక్క ధరని ఎంత లాభము ఎంత ఉత్పత్తి చేయాలనేది నిర్ణయించడం జరుగుతుంది మోనోపాలీ మార్కెట్లో. సో హియర్ ద మోనోపోలిస్ట్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ద complete control over the monopolist is going to be having the complete control over the supply of the product here. So the monopolist is going to be, because he is going to be having only single producer of the product here, so he is going to be having the complete control over the supply of the product in the market here. Supply of the product in the ఒకే ఒక అమ్మకందారుడు, ఒకే ఒక ఉత్పత్తిదారుడు ఉంటాడు కాబట్టి ఏమవుతుంది అక్కడ, ఒకే ఒక ఉత్పత్తిదారుడు మొత్తం ఎంత సప్లై అవసరమైతే అంత సప్లైని కంట్రోల్ చేయడానికి అతనికి ఇది ఉంటుంది అనమాట. So here that the complete control over the supply of the product. He can also set the price, attain the maximum profit. He can also set the price, means what here, he can also decide the price at what particular price level he can gain the maximum profits here. అతడు ఒక ధరను నిర్ణయించేటప్పుడు ఆ ధర దగ్గర ఎంత ఎక్కువ లాభాన్ని ఆర్జించగలిగితే అంత ఎక్కువ లాభార్జనకి అతడు ధరను అనేది ఆ వస్తువుకి నిర్ణయించడం జరుగుతుంది. సో he can also set the price to attain the maximum profits here. However, he cannot do both the things simultaneously. Determination of the price and maximization of the determination of the price and supply of the goods. Both he cannot determine at a time here. So any one thing he can do at a simultaneously, he cannot do both things here. Okay, sare రెండింటిని నిర్ణయించలేడు, ఏదో ఒకటి ఒక సమయానికి చేయగలుగుతాడు. So either he can fix the price, either he can fix the price of the good and let output to be determined by the consumer here. So ఒకసారేమో ధరను నిర్ణయించగలుగుతాడు, ఇంకోసారేమో అవుట్పుట్ సప్లైని కన్స్యూమర్ డిమాండ్కి తగ్గట్టుగా సప్లైని ప్రొవైడ్ చేయగలుగుతాడు, రెండింటిని మాత్రం ఒకేసారి చేయలేడు. సో హియర్ సైమల్టేనియస్లీ either he can fix the price of the price, either he can fix the price, leave the output to be determined by the consumer. Demand at this particular price can be fixed, the output would be produced to leave the, if he is going to fix the output, if he want to determine the output at the beginning, he should have to leave the price here. Either if he is going to be fixing the price, he should have to leave the output. If he is going to be fixing the output, he should have to leave the price here. But he cannot do simultaneously both the things here. So determined by the consumer's demand as particular product here. So he is going to be determining basing on the demand of the particular consumer, demand for the consumers for that particular product. Based on that, he is going to be fixing the price and output of the commodity here. So here the conditions for equilibrium of the firm, the conditions, the different number of conditions for the equilibrium of the firm, the different number of conditions for the equilibrium of the firm under the monopoly are similar to perfect competition. Monopoly competition lo kuda perfect competition lo unnate same conditions satisfy cheyali. So here that the marginal cost is equivalent to marginal revenue. Marginal cost is equivalent to marginal revenue. This is the first condition here. So always the marginal cost is equivalent to marginal revenue. Marginal cost is equivalent to marginal revenue, and marginal cost curve should have first marginal revenue curve from below. So the second one is what here, marginal cost curve cuts below the marginal revenue curve. So under the perfect competition, the same conditions here. Marginal cost curve is going to cut below the marginal revenue curve here. So marginal cost curve should cut. Marginal cost curve should cut. Marginal cost curve should cut. Marginal cost curve should cut marginal revenue curve from below. Marginal revenue curve from below. Marginal cost curve cut should cut marginal revenue curve from below. Marginal revenue curve కింద నుంచి కట్ చేయాలి. So here that the that the next one is what here. So second condition is not applicable always from the forms equilibrium. Second condition is not going to be applicable from all the forms here. కొన్నిసార్లు అప్లికబుల్ అవుతుంది, కొన్నిసార్లు అప్లికబుల్ కాకపోవచ్చు అని చెప్పడం. సో హియర్ దట్ సెకండ్ కండిషన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ అప్లికబుల్. Second condition is not going to be applicable always for a forms equilibrium. Always for a form equilibrium కావాలంటే ప్రతిసారి కూడా ఖచ్చితంగా కండిషన్ అనేది అక్కడ సాటిస్ఫై చేయొచ్చు, కొన్నిసార్లు చేయకపోవచ్చు. Sometimes it may be satisfied, sometimes it will not be satisfied here. So price determination under the monopoly is the price determination under the monopoly is done with the use of average revenue, marginal revenue, average cost and marginal cost here. Based on the average revenue, marginal revenue, average cost and marginal cost. Based on this, so here price determination under the monopoly is going to be done through using of average revenue, marginal revenue, average cost and marginal cost. Based on that, we are going to be bringing the price determination to be made it under the a monopoly market situation here. So the figure explains the equilibrium position. The graphical representation is going to be explaining us the equilibrium position and price determination of a firm under the monopoly here. So in the diagram, quantity and output is taken on the OX axis and cost and revenues are considered on the OY axis. So by this graph you can understand easily. OY axis, OX axis. This is of OX axis, this is of OY axis. On OX axis always we are going to be measuring the quantity of output. On OX axis always measured on what here? Quantity of output. Quantity of output. Always the quantity of output will be measured on the OX axis. Cost and revenues will be measured on the OY axis. Cost and revenues. Cost and revenues. Cost and revenues will be measured on the OY axis here. So based on that, here the monopolist will go on producing additional units of the monopolist will be go on producing additional units of output as long as marginal revenue is going to be exceeds. So the monopolist will go on producing the additional units of output. మోనోపోలిస్ట్ ఏం చేస్తాడు, అదనంగా ఎంతైతే ఉత్పత్తి చేయగలుగుతాడో అంత ఎక్కువ ఉత్పత్తి చేస్తాడు. ఎక్కడి వరకు మార్జినల్ రెవెన్యూ కర్వ్ ఎక్కడి వరకు అయితే ఎక్స్టెండ్ అవుతుందో అక్కడి వరకు కూడా అవుట్పుట్ లెవెల్ అనేది ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తూనే పోతూ ఉంటాడు. సో ద మోనోపోలిస్ట్ విల్ గో ఆన్ ప్రొడ్యూసింగ్ ద అడిషనల్ అవుట్పుట్. Marginal revenue, the monopolist will go on producing the additional output as long as marginal revenue curve is going to be exceeds the marginal revenue curve exceeds the marginal cost because it is profitable to produce, exceeds the marginal cost curve because it is possible to produce a additional units of additional unit if it adds more to revenue than the cost. Here it is going to be adding more to revenue than the cost. ఏంటి, ఉత్పత్తి వ్యయం కంటే కూడా ఉత్పత్తి లాభం ఎంత ఎక్కువైతే ఉత్పత్తి చేయడం వల్ల ఎంతైతే లాభం ఎక్కువ అవుతుందో అక్కడ వరకు కూడా ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేస్తాడు. సో హిస్ ప్రాఫిట్స్ విల్ బి మాక్సిమం అండ్ హీ విల్ బి అటైన్ ద ఈక్విలిబ్రియం లెవెల్. If the profits will be maximum than the cost, so here he is going to be attaining the equilibrium at that particular level. Here he is going to be attaining the equilibrium at that particular level. He is going to be attaining the equilibrium at that particular level here. So here that the marginal revenue is equivalent to marginal cost here. At that particular level, marginal revenue is equivalent to marginal cost here. If he stops short of the level of output, if he is going to be stopping short of that particular level of output, so marginal revenue is equivalent to marginal cost. He will be foregoing profits. He is going to be, అంటే ఏంటి, ఎక్కడికైతే ఆపేశాడో అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, he is going to be foregoing the profits, అంటే వచ్చే లాభాలని పొందకుండా పోవడం. So he is foregoing the profits which otherwise he would make he could make here వచ్చే లాభాన్ని కూడా అక్కడ ఆపేసినట్టుగా అవుతుంది. సో in figure marginal cost is equivalent to marginal revenue at output OQ here. At the output OQ level, the marginal profits is equivalent to marginal revenue here. So here you can observe that the average revenue cost and the marginal revenue. Marginal cost, average cost curves will be the always U-shaped because we haven't discussed here. So what we have discussed, so that the marginal cost curve which because the marginal revenue curve from the bill. So here we are going to be drawing the average revenue curve and the marginal revenue. Our average revenue curve, always the marginal revenue curve is going to be below the average revenue curve. So here we are going to be drawing average revenue curve. AR is nothing but what here? Average revenue curve here. This is nothing but AR is the average revenue curve here. So always the marginal revenue curve is the below the average revenue curve. Always that the marginal revenue curve is below the average revenue curve here. Marginal revenue curve. This is of what here? Marginal revenue curve. This is nothing but what here? Marginal revenue curve. This is nothing but what here? Always marginal revenue curve. MR is nothing but what here? Marginal revenue curve. అది కిందకు పోవాలి టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ లో ప్రాపర్ గా ఇవ్వలేదు. In text book you are not finding properly, but it should have to put the OX axis below. OX axis below it should have to continue here. OX axis కంటే కూడా below continue అవ్వాలి MR curve అనేది. So here then the next one. So marginal cost curve and average cost curve both are the U-shaped curves we haven't discussed here. Both these are the U-shaped curves we haven't discussed. First we are going to be drawing the average cost curve. First we are going to be drawing of what here? Average cost curves. This is of average cost curve. This is of what here? Average cost curve here. So then next what we are going to be drawing? Marginal cost curve. We are going to be drawing of what here? Marginal cost curve. Marginal cost curve we are going to be drawing. This is of marginal cost curve. This is of what here? Marginal cost curve. This is of marginal cost curve. This is of nothing but what here? Marginal cost curve. So this is of point. First of all, we are going to be drawing of average revenue curve and marginal revenue curve. Average revenue curve. So this is of what here? Marginal revenue curve. This is of nothing but what here? Marginal revenue curve here. So then next we are going to be drawing of average cost curve. Next what we are going to be doing here? We are going to be drawing of average cost curve. So now we are going to drawing of what here? Average cost curve we are going to be drawing. Average cost curve we are going to be drawing. Average cost curve. This is of nothing but what here? Average cost curve. This is of nothing but average cost curve we have been drawn here. So now we are going to be drawing the marginal cost curve here. We are going to be drawing of what here? Marginal cost curve we are going to be drawing. Marginal cost curve we are going to be drawing here. Here we have been drawn of what here? Marginal cost curve. So now we are going to be adding. Now we are going to be adding of what here? So now we are going to be fixing it is the point. So this is the point. This is the point. This is of OQ level of output. This is of what here? OQ level of output. So from here to here we are going to join. From here to here we are going to be drawing of what here? And from here to here. So this is the point where the firm is going to be earning the profits. P, A, B, C. So this is the point we are calling it of and what here? Equilibrium position. This is the point we are getting of. E is nothing but what here? Equilibrium position here. E we are going to get of what here? Equilibrium position. So this is shaded area is nothing but the maximization of profits. This shaded area showing of what here? Maximization of profits. The shaded area will be showing of what here? Maximization of profits for us here. Maximization of profits. So in the next section we are going to be continuing.